Alright, welcome back. We're going to continue on investigating and seeing what's going on in this trial thing. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back? Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest ticks you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it, but I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Well, yeah, let's look at it now. This is interesting.
Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san?
Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
No, nor can I, but look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think?
She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, don't you?
I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article.
Oh!
Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It would appear that a woman was in costume when she was found to be missing, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles.
Oh!
Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles?
I have no idea, but I'm quite sure. It must be an unbelievable sum of money.
Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They requested international assistance to all ports with sailings of Great Britain.
Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country?
It does seem to be the Russian thing to do.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo.
The article about the ballerina have been entered into the court record. Nice. Or were you just investigating? Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Ah, yes, the victim.
Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all?
Observe, for a moment, the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary. Kazuma was keeping trips with a note. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading? You mean you read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Susato-san, aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns?
I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean?
Life is so unfair. Oh, this girl. Anyway, to return the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. Ah ha 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 ha. So what was all that showing off for then?
If you would be so kind as to show me, I'd be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm much obliged, my dear madam.
The final entry here in Kazuma Sorama's diary consists of two short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound, like whoosh, or like Oh, I don't know. He didn't specify.
A whistling sound? These are very troubling or very deep waters. Pray, go on.
The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? What on earth does that mean?
I have no idea. I never heard of that expression before.
The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary has been entered into the court record. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being at least?
Ah, do you have somewhere to go?
As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants his further investigation, I believe. And if I am still too long, the seasickness take hold.
Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to?
Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exhaustion. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No. That would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No. There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. The gaslighting. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing.
Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too.
You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really. So what, were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Ah ha 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 ha. Now he's just being plain rude. Get this man out of here. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name.
Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for?
Hmm?
We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well.
Aren't you forgetting something? What about these?
Hey-ya! After Kasuma-sama is dying moment struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up?
You're just going,
You're just going to roll over and accept your fate?
as if you give me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door.
Good idea.
The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself, and I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Is that...
Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san?
Oh, no. It's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help but feel like I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh, yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir.
Yes. What can I do for you? I recognize that face, but it can't be. It is.
I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga.
Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped.
nearly stopped, I hope.
I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew on board this ship. Again?
You certainly seem to be enjoying your undercover work, Inspector.
If there's anything I could do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board, but perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Yes, we'll converse. Special orders. So, what are your special orders this time, Inspector?
Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. It's my responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. It was the Minister of Justice, Jigoku, that pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Osogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How? How could that even been a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible.
I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated?
Obviously, we couldn't give Osogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew.
I see.
And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin. Not here on the first class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Osaki-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So, if there's anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word. Permission to investigate. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer? Of course not.
We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door.
Yes. So we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety if you moved even the touch of the handle of the door. That stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm gonna need something persuasive.
What do you mean?
If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how...
There may be a way.
What? Really?
Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san, by presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession.
Evidence?
It's just the same as when you're in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the present panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use.
So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright, yes, I think I might know what we can use. Let's see if I can present the detective with evidence he needs to persuade the captain. Let me present. Let me do that. What's that? It's Kazuma's diary.
Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary.
Strange? In what way?
He wrote, "What looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill."
A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we are trying to work out what he meant by that, but what I'd like to know is, don't tell me, the ventilator, is it?
You're very astute, Inspector.
That ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin. That's right, so if we can investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave the cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you.
Really? You're willing to do that?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the first class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line, if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asagi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you.
Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move, and we can leave this cabin at last.
Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out. Alright, and I will end that episode there. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, leave a like and comment and share all that stuff. You can feel free to subscribe and follow me on Twitch if you want. I think all the links are in my YouTube bio or something like that. And until next time, thanks for watching.